Good morning, beloveds. Give me just a moment. I cleaned the camera and then I realized the camera was not the problem. Hence my glasses. So I'm cleaning my glasses. While being rubbed on by the cat. This morning, he's got a really quiet purr, so you probably can't hear it. That's Foster. He came jogging in here behind me and is sitting next to me on the little couch, just purring away and rubbing on my elbow. And I'm just like, all right. Okay, so it is July 14th. My trainer, he's working out of his garage, and we worked in his driveway today because his garage floor, well, there's a tree trying to come up through it. So sometime over the next week, his landlord is going to fix it, so, which is good. All right, it is July 14th. Our title is I Have Faith. The life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, and that is Galatians 2:20. Faith is more than an objective statement. We do not have perfect faith while any subjective contradictions deny the affirmations of our lips. This is what the Bible means when it says we must know in our heart. Heart symbolizes the innermost center of the being. When the intellect is no longer contradicted by our emotional reactions, by unconscious doubts and fears, then the word of our mouth will immediately bear fruit. Today, I have faith that my word shall not return unto me void. Today, I surrender myself completely to this faith, for I know that there is a creative spirit which gives substance to this faith, and which will provide the evidence of this substance in actual fact. I expect, then, to meet my good, and I rejoice in the anticipation of this good. I know that my faith operates through an immutable law and that there is no possibility whatsoever of its failing. My faith leads me into complete self-expression. It awakens inner spiritual forces that have the power to do anything. My faith transcends the limitations of fear, of physical pain, of mental depression. My faith leads me unto the pathway of righteousness. My faith unites every experience I have with the eternal. My faith in God reflects itself unto everyone I meet, thereby making practical my faith in man. And now I have to think about it. Because I talk a lot about faith. And in the middle of this, he says, when the intellect is no longer contradicted by our emotional reactions. Because that's one of the things, it's like we'll say what we want, and then we'll immediately deny that. Emotionally, it's like, okay, intellectually, this is what I want. And then my heart or my gut or something else says, no, you don't. And you wonder why treatments don't work. Well, that's why, because some part of you is contradicting it. So you either have to decide, is this really what you want? Or if it's not really what you want, then you have to decide what it is that you really want. And frequently, what we're asking for is what we think we want. What someone has told us that we want. And so that's one of the benefits of meditation, is you go listen to yourself and stop listening to everybody else around you. We have the term keeping up with the Joneses, and a whole lot of people get in a whole lot of trouble trying to keep up with the Joneses. And then you find out that it's all about appearance. It's not really what they want. There are lots of people who get degrees and get into jobs because it's what their parents wanted. And then they wonder why they're desperately unhappy. So faith does, to a degree, comes back to knowing yourself. knowing who you are, knowing what you really want. And sometimes the scariest thing that you can do is get to know yourself. Peel off the layers of who and what you have been told you are by society, by culture, by religion, by other people, by your parents, by people that love you, by people that don't know you, and get to know yourself. And then you will know what you want, and then you can have faith in what you want and can get what you want. There was something about monkeys. No, there's a meme about clowns, and it's talking about relationships. It's like, why do these clowns keep showing up in your life? And that's not the question. It's like, why do you keep going to the circus? Do you know who you are? If the same thing keeps showing up in your life, you haven't learned the lesson yet, whatever lesson it's trying to teach you. And so if you can pay attention to what it is that it's trying to show you about your inner thoughts, then that particular lesson, that particular type of person can stop showing up in your life. So faith does. It's kind of ironic. Faith is about the invisible. Faith is about waiting, and not knowing. But the basis of faith is knowing who you are, really knowing who you are. So, the title is "I Have Faith." The Bible quote: "The life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God." I might say the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the child of God, because I'm a child of God, you're a child of God. It is about activating that Christ consciousness. It is about knowing who we are. So that's Galatians 2:20. Feel free to go and check and see. Reverend Norm, when I took one of the classes, he said, when you're using Bible quotes, read it in context, and then you'll have a sense about what it means. Because sometimes people take Bible quotes out of context all the time and then use them as weapons. So it's a good idea. Go read a few lines before and a few lines after. Put it in context. See what he's actually talking. The writer was actually talking about. Okay, so faith is more than an objective statement. It's definitely a feeling statement. We do not have perfect faith while any subjective contradictions deny the affirmations of our lips. So that gut reaction, that heart reaction, that intellectual reaction of whatever it is that we say, if they don't line up with what we've said, then they're not going to bear fruit, or they're going to bear fruit, but it might be stunted, or it's going to come out sideways and we're going to get something completely unexpected. This is what the Bible means when it says we must know our heart. We have to know who we are. We have to know who we are. Let's start with the statement of fact that we are beloved children of God. Beloved children of Spirit. Start there and then figure out who you are. Heart symbolizes the innermost center of our being. We use it to symbolize that place where we meet God. That place where we have that unfiltered connection to God. We're not filtering God through the material world. That's this right in here, where nothing gets between us and God. So that's just the symbol that we use. You want to use your spleen, go for it. Doesn't matter. When the intellect is no longer contradicted by our emotional reactions. When our emotional reactions are in line with our intellect, then we're in faith. Then we're in faith. So when the intellect is no longer contradicted by our emotional reactions, by unconscious doubts and fears, then the word of our mouth will immediately bear fruit. And you know it when I describe it as a tingle. It's like when I am doing that treatment, when I'm doing that prayer, or even if I'm just speaking and I'm speaking the truth, there's this tingle that happens, and it means that my emotions and my intellect are in line, that I am speaking my truth. I'm speaking the truth, and I feel it, and it feels amazing, and I feel lighter and just more powerful and all of that. That's when I know. That's when I know that my intellect and my emotions are in line. That's when I know that I'm speaking the truth. That's when I know who I am. And it's an amazing feeling. And it took a while to get there. I had to do a lot of excavating. I mean, my undergraduate degree is anthropology with a specialty in archaeology. I had to do a lot of excavating. I had to pull off all of the layers of what other people thought I was and who I was, and figure out who I was. And do I know 100%? Probably not. But I'm a lot closer, and my intellect and my emotions line up a lot better now. That's where the power is. That's where the power is. Today I have faith that my word shall not return unto me void. Today I surrender myself completely to this faith. And I can do that because I know who I am, and I know where I come from. I know what I come from. I know the source of my being. I know that patterning intelligence, that mind, that love that is the source of me. I know that. And because I know that, I can surrender to that. For I know that there is a creative spirit which gives substance to this faith, and which will provide the evidence of this substance in actual fact. I've seen it in action in my own life. I have. I expect then to meet my good, and I rejoice in the anticipation of this good. And that's the grace. Waiting, patience is the state of mind within which we wait. Nobody likes to pray for patience. And nobody should pray for patience. Patience is the grace while you wait. And when you're waiting for things to happen, you can go do other things. You don't have to sit there and twiddle your thumbs and, gnash your teeth and do all that. And that's part of the lesson of patience that I think I've learned is, okay, I've done my treatment. Now I'm waiting for this to happen. And while I'm waiting for this to happen, I'm going to go do other things that need to be done. But I'm going to know, and I'm going to do these other things in joyful anticipation of what it is that I prayed for. And that's the secret to patience. It's when we don't have anything to do that patience is a trial. All right. I know that my faith operates through an immutable law, and that there is no possibility whatsoever of it failing. I also know that I don't dictate the how. I dictate the what, but not the how. So it can come from an unexpected direction. It can come in an unexpected time frame. And I'm good with that most of the time. Yeah, most of the time. I mean, we all have those times. It's like, no, now. I was reading Carrie Fisher quotes last night, and she says instant gratification takes too long. Yeah. So, I know that it will happen. I know that it will happen in God's timeline, not necessarily mine. My faith leads me into complete self-expression, and that's what I'm talking about. We got to know who we are. Your faith feeds your self-expression feeds your faith. Knowing who you are will make your faith stronger. It awakens the inner spiritual forces that have the power to do anything. My faith transcends the limitations of fear, of physical pain, of mental depression. My faith leads me into pathways of righteousness. My faith unites every experience I have with the eternal. My faith in God reflects itself unto everyone I meet. thereby making practical my faith in people. My faith in God reflects itself into everyone I meet, meaning that my faith allows me to look in the people's eyes that I meet and see God looking back at me. It allows me to treat them as the child of God that I know that they are, even when neither of us is acting like it. Because I don't act like a child of God 100% of the time. Sometimes I act like an idiot. I'm getting better. But, my faith allows me to look at another person, no matter what is going on, and say, you are a child of God. You are a beloved child of God. I know this about you, and I am going to treat you that way. And I'm going to hold that space for you until you can hold it for yourself. I mean, we all love to meet and interact with people who know that they're children of God because it's easy. The challenge is when they don't know who they are. So today our lesson is that faith is about knowing who we are. And that's where we start. We start by knowing that we're beloved children of God. And we go from there. All right. Okay, I still love the line, when the intellect is no longer contradicted by our emotional reactions. So I think that's where the mission is going to come from. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, it's to pay attention. It's to pay attention to the connection between our intellect and our emotional reaction. Because if they're not lining up, we need to know why. So our mission today is to really pay attention to the words of our intellect and the feelings of our heart, and see where they line up and where they don't, and where we need to make the adjustments so that they line up more often than not. All right. I know this is kind of a difficult mission, but it's that step on the path of knowing who we are. If we can line our intellect up with our emotional reactions, the power at our fingertips grows. And it grows so much. Because knowing who we are opens us up to who we are and who we come from. All right. I am going to move into the process of my day. It is Wednesday. Do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Cannot forget that. I want to remind you to do that every day. It is super important to me, because I believe that you deserve your own loving, kind compassion more than anybody else. That is who you start with. Start here. Be loving, be kind, be compassionate with yourself. Because the more you are with yourself, the more you will have to share with other people. It really goes a long way to making it easier when you meet somebody who is a child of God but is not acting like it, when you are loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself. Because then you have the fortitude to be kind and compassionate to them. So, please do that loving, kind, compassionate thing for yourself. If you could be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself all day long, that's the goal. But it starts with one act. All right. I also would encourage you to engage your mind and your body. I went to the trainer today, and some of the things that he asked me to do definitely engaged my mind and my body. He's all about complicated combinations. But it's good. And I found out that I could do something that I didn't think I could. So that was pretty awesome. He said, "You're going to hate this combination." And he's right. I did. But in the process of doing that combination, I was like, I can do that. That's really interesting. Yay. So hence I'm a little excited today, but I also got that face full of sun first thing in the morning, and it was a little cooler. So that helped. Please drink plenty of water. Please take care of yourself. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. This is our state of grace. So please take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And while you are doing all the other things that you're going to do, including, there is a book study today, The Living of the Science of the Mind, which is a fantastic book, and it's drop in. If you haven't dropped in and are interested, email info@creativelife.org. It's a Zoom class, so it's easy. And I think it's at 6 p.m. today. And the practitioners that are doing it are wonderful. You'll love them. Please open the windows of your soul. Allow the blessings of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. It's all around you. It just takes you being willing to open up and see it. Okay, I'm going to run off and do whatever it is that I'm going to do for the rest of my day, including going to work. You do what you need to do to make it a good day, a wonderful day, a fantastic day, an amazing day. And if that's too much, then just have a day. That's good too. All right, beloveds. Reverend David will be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. Have a wonderful day, whatever it looks like for you. And I'll see you in the morning. All right, beloveds. Or you can catch me on YouTube anytime. The Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. All right. I really am getting off now. Have a wonderful day, beloveds.